Welcome to AgriTalk, and thank you for keeping it KCN Farmers TV. Today we are talking about herbs farming or herbs for export. And with me in studio is Crispo Mwiti, who is an agronomist with Green Glow. So welcome to the show, Crispo.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
My name is Muriuki Crispo Mwiti, and I'm a consultant, an agronomist in that field of herbs and spices production. And we grow herbs and export them. I also help farmers grow and export them.
Okay.
Yes.
So when we say herbs, what is it the mitishamba we know? Or?
No, the word herb comes from, it's basically because those crops that we grow have herbal, or having herbal advantages, properties, and they are spices because they add aroma to the food or to the beverages. But the core point is they are herbal because they help us in health benefits.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we call them herbs. But
Okay.
they are more spices. Actually, they are more spices, yeah.
Okay. So as a farmer, why should I grow herbs?
One, you should do them because they are generating income, but the core benefit of them is the health benefit. Because again, we just want our bodies to be healthy. We want to protect our families and be healthy. So herbs, they are just advantageous when it comes to health.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
alongside other factors.
Oh.
You see, it creates employment. We also learn, yeah, and it creates a lot of employment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I'm a farmer and I want to grow herbs, how do I arrive at the herb that I think will work for me?
One, it needs experience. You have to include a consultant who has a great knowledge of herbs, because not all herbs are profitable, and others they need 1, 2, 3 things so that you can be specifically aware of which one you want to settle in. For instance, you have to consider maybe your capital, the one you intend to use. You have to consider even climatic conditions. You also want to, you can also figure out about availability of water. Remember, all herbs need different amounts of water. There are some that need a lot of water, others not. Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to have someone on the team, someone on the tables who can guide you on which one to take.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I want to start now, I've selected my herb that I want to grow. How now do I decide on the seed? How do I arrive on this is the best seed for?
We have propagators who are well known. There's the famous Plantech. There are other companies who give quality seedlings. Of course, they come with certificate of quality. That's a requirement. But on the other part, I myself also have a company which do the same. We grow seedlings, we sell seedlings to farmers. We are cheaper because we just want to promote farmers. That's why I came up with that idea, propagating seedlings. Also, there are shops famous, like the Akinamiran, they sell quality seedlings. So it's all about which one and which one is nearer you, which one you prefer.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I don't want to go out and buy the seedlings, can I still propagate my own?
Yes, it works. We've seen farmers propagate for themselves. But again, it comes to the challenge, because if you're new to the business, probably you don't know how to propagate them. So I would recommend get them from a company that knows how to do them, because they require special care. For instance, if you're doing basil, you need it to be watered, fed, and temperature controlled environment, all those aspects. And it can be hard for someone who is new.
Okay.
Yes.
What are the prices? The price range of?
There are different price ranges. It's there is where you sell raw material, where this is where you decide to just pick them from the farm and sell. There are also instances where you have to pack and sell to maybe someone here in Kenya, or that's on a different category of price. And there is this where you pack and export by yourself. Those are 3 categories. For raw material, it can be from 200 per kilo to 300. For packed and delivered maybe to a client within Kenya, it can be from 300 to 400. Now, when it comes to international market, it can go from four to $8 depending with the destination. For instance, if you're shipping to Qatar, it can be 4.5. If you send to do Russia, it can be 8 or 7, or depending with demand, depending with the purpose, so far and so forth.
Okay.
Yes.
But I was asking for the price of the seedling.
I see.
Yes. So how
different propagators offer different prices. Mine, I do 4 to 5, depending with the number of seedlings. The more the seedlings, the lower the price. Others will do at 5, 7, or 8, depending with the number of seedlings.
Okay.
Also the variety. There are some varieties that are more expensive than the others. Yes. So prices differ, but it's from 5 to 10.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe you can take us through some of these varieties that are grown in this country.
We will talk on Basil only, right?
No, I was just told we are talking about
Herbs.
herbs.
Okay, we can just work with Basil only. Basil, we have Aroma 2, Aroma 1, and some other small varieties like Italian variety, there's a Spanish Basil. So if the more the crop is widely used, the more the price.
Okay.
Yes.
So on
A quarter kilo will cost 15,000 seeds.
15,000 seeds.
No.
Say,
A quarter kilo of seedlings will cost 15,000 Kenya shillings.
to buy.
Yes.
Okay.
That was just seeds. Now we include the propagating and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things.
Okay.
Yeah. So it can, a plug can cost, one seedling can cost between 2 and 3 shillings.
Okay.
2 bob, 2, 3. Yes. Depending again with variety, depending with also some factors. Remember, if you ask me for 20 pieces, I'll decide one is maybe 50 bob, because there's more in number and I'll have to deliver.
Deliver. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've talked about these. They are categorized into numbers. Basil 1,
Aroma 1.
Aroma 1, Aroma 2.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about why.
Aroma 2, we've known it because of its resistance to diseases. But the only problem, maybe, or the only disadvantage with that one is because it's on its production-wise, yield-wise, it produces slow, because it has a smaller leaf compared to the other.
The Aroma 1.
Yes, but it's now developed to a more good variety, which we're now using, Aroma 2. It's famous because it's also resistance to diseases. Also the famous wilt and fusarium, so it won't be much affected like the Aroma 1, right? It's just an improvement. It just went under some processes where they improve it. It's just a variety improvement. Yes.
Okay.
That's why we prefer it than the others.
So are there regions that these spices do well, or they can be grown anywhere in the country?
With my knowledge, I think they can grow almost everywhere, provided the conditions are met. For instance, if you're doing it in very low temperature ranges, if you introduce maybe a system that can work on your temperatures, then you're good to go.
Those are talking of greenhouses.
Yes,
Okay.
not a greenhouse. Yes, but each soil has its own maybe advantage or disadvantage. So you have to specifically state which one, and then you can see if it can work on a specific place. For instance, rosemary can work on almost everywhere, provided the soils have their soils and they are rich. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of land preparation, do you just prepare your land when you want to grow spices or basil, for example? Do you prepare the land the same you prepare for other crops, or this one is special preparation?
For basil, it's a bit special because the crop itself is very delicate. It is you need to be more intensive. For instance, you have to make sure there are no pathogens. So when you are preparing the land, of course, you come out with mechanisms that you fix maybe any nutrient that was missing. If you are advised that your soils are lacking probably nitrogen, you try to top dress or and there are also the bed ridges are somehow different because they should be raised. Also, the pH value should also be considered alongside other aspects. So if you are doing preparation, then it should be thorough. You can't just keep any aspect. So you have to be thorough.
Okay.
Yeah, each point after point, aspect after aspect.
Okay. So
Yeah.
earlier you had said you are also a consultant.
Yes.
And so if, let's say I consult you to, I want to grow basil,
Mhm.
and I want you to help me prepare my field for the crop,
Yeah.
what will you come and look at? Take me through the process from the time you arrive on my farm to the day we will put the crop on the soil.
All right.
on the
First
soil.
is the size of the land. We'll check that one, of course, because for export market we normally deal with half acre plus because we don't want to export 20-45 kilos. So we'll check the piece of land, the types of the soil, how rich are the soils, availability, and we also check labor wise because it needs some casuals and you have to have availability of labor. We also want to check about how much you are willing to invest in. For instance, basil is expensive. Actually, it's one of the most expensive herb to do because it is capital intensive. For a greenhouse, you need an M plus, yeah. But if we notice probably, or we are sure you can work with basil, then we move on to where we test the soils, see if you have water, see if you have the facilities. If not, we just build them. But there is the huge list of those requirements.
What are these requirements? What are these
basil,
facilities?
of course, cannot be done outdoor. First, you'll have to have a greenhouse. We also need to see those structures. For instance, where you are parking, the chemical storage, the stores, the packaging material, blah, 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 blah. There are a lot of requirements. Also, we'll check the soil fertility and pathogens. Of course, there are those big companies that will check those on behalf of me. They will just get those test samples. Then if you are given a go ahead, we check on maybe transport because you'll have to ferry it on a lorry. Remember, if the roads are impassable, you won't be exporting.
Okay.
So there's those list of a lot of those aspects that you have to check one by one, because if you have your crop there and the roads are impassable, then you are losing.
Okay.
You can be having your crops there and you don't have enough labor or you don't have people to harvest. You've lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you also need to come and now train also these people?
Yes. There are a couple of training sessions. I offer them, some other bodies offer them. For instance, there is on safety, PPE, produce handling, there is fertilizer application, the chemical application, there is the cleanliness and all those trainings. I think there are 5-6 in number according to the the latest GAP certification. Yes, there are I think 6 of them.
Okay.
Yeah, you should be trained them, the owner of the farm, the workers, and whoever is associated with the project.
Okay.
Yes.
So in terms of the preparation for all these things you've mentioned, how long does it take?
Well, with everything constant, with me, I can probably do a month. A month I'm supposed to be done with preparation.
Preparation to planting?
Yeah.
So yeah, if I'm to contract you, I know you'll be at my farm for 1 month.
Yeah.
And after 1 month, I'll have the crop on the field.
Yeah.
So from the time the crop is planted, how long will it take again now for me to have my first harvest?
1 month.
Another 1 month?
Actually, it is 21 to 28 days. When all things are constant, it should be 21 to 28 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
How marketable is this crop?
That is the most marketable herb as we speak because it's delicate, it's what is it's like dania, the normal dania. It will just stay. That's perishable. It will stay, I think, a day or two, and it's done. So it's perishable, and so people take it a lot in these European countries, and the demand there is so big that such that it's very rare to have maybe flat. Not unless we have instances like the COVID thing, but on a normal, maybe normal day, basil is the best in terms of demand, because it is perishable, and a lot of hotels there use them a lot. Not only hotels, supermarkets, shops, there are herbs shops, and they need them a lot. That's the crop that you can do with tons on each week. I've dealt with it for some time, so I can comfortably testify about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of harvesting, how many per crop, how many times will I harvest before I plant another one?
For instance, for basil, you can do each week for 4 to 5 continuous months.
5 months, the same crop, and then?
Yes. Depending on the destination and also usage. For people who use it for spices, it can be longer. It can go up to 6 to 7. But for people using it as a medicinal value or to extract some oils, then you'll have to use it when its quality is high. That's from the 1st month to the 4th month there.
Okay.
Yes.
So how do I arrive at my client?
There are 2 options. We have agents, and you can do it personally. There are sites. In fact, there are sites that help farmers link with the European market, and I think that's a breakthrough, because you get to link up with the buyer himself one-on-one. And there are also agents, and there are also companies around. For instance, there are around 10 companies that buy the same, sell it on behalf of you, of course on a lower price. But if you have, if you are capable of exporting by yourself, then there are these sites that I know, probably 5 of them. You can also, you just sign up, pay some few charges, maybe $4 or $5, and then get those clients directly from wherever they are, globally, actually.
So I'm paying the $4 to the owners of the site, or whom am I paying?
The site. Yes, to have direct access to those clients.
For how long? Or when after I paid $4, I can?
No, I think the subscription is, I think, 1 year.
Or is annually?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. With that site, you get to get all globally. People from China, India, wherever. Yes. Different herbs, different countries, different tonnage, different uses.
So I can negotiate for my pricing?
Yes, of course.
On the website? We agree, sign a contract?
The site will help you to get the address and the contacts of the buyer. So you can either call, send to text, or email, or blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Yes.
So from the time I harvest to the time it gets to the airport, how long is that supposed to be?
For basil, it is perishable, so the earlier the better. Probably you need less than 3-4 hours. One, if you are well equipped, you should be having your cold storage or a cold truck. That's the only way. But for some maybe who think that they can work with the truck only, then they will need less than 4 hours to be in quality. Failure to which there will be red flags at the airport, and your shipment can be rejected, because they have their own mechanism of determining the temperatures there. So if you are lucky enough, it'll work. If not, then you will be rejected. There are those agents of from the, I think, HCDA and KEFIS and some other airport agents that check temperature ranges. So for instance, basil, we know it should be less than 18. So if you get with 20 plus, you have a red flag.
That is the cold chain?
Yes.
From the time it's harvested?
No, the temperature should not be past 18 degrees.
After harvest? Or even when it's
when you're delivering?
when you're delivering?
Yes, it should be 6, 10, 8. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Should be lower than 18.
Yes.
Okay.
18 is amber. It's not red. There are those temperature maybe codes. So there is red, amber, and there's green. So green is from 8 this side to 0. From 10 to I think 16 is amber. 20 onwards is red. Yes.
So the red, you're already in trouble.
Yes, very much trouble because you risk rejection 100%. Yes.
Okay. So if let's for example say I've planted my crop, I don't have a client that I've looked for personally. How do I still get? Are there other options apart
Yes,
from
there are.
sourcing for my client personally?
Yeah, there are options. There is option of giving me a call, Chris from Stack. I know a few agents, I know a few buyers who can probably help. Also, there are local buyers. There are people who buy them locally, there are companies. And if you are stuck, maybe export-wise, you can think of having these Kenyan companies that buy the same, of course at a lower price, but it's much better than the zero, right?
Okay.
Yeah, but if the crop is clean and you are genuine and you are able to deliver quality stuff, I don't see a point of having marketing issues. The only problem when marketing is where we have issues with quality, right? Because, for instance, if you're having a basil and they are good and you are capable of delivering, I don't see a point on why you should have market issues, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm finding here is it is not easy to be a basil farmer.
Let me.
And
Okay, it needs someone to be on toes. You cannot farm on your phone. It needs patience. There is a lot of sacrifices. There is a lot of where you sacrifice more time to check on the crop. And it also needs some capital, so it's not that easy. Of course, it makes returns, huge returns. With 5 blocks, you can make barely 200,000 a month, a week. Yes, but we cannot say it's that easy. Yeah,
Okay.
for someone who is new. But we've been used. It's a few days thing, and then you get used to. And the moment you are set to go, then the first few months, that's where there's a challenge.
okay.
Yes.
You earlier on you talked about during as you set up, there's a lot of requirements needed.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that a greenhouse alone can cost you $1 million shillings.
Yeah.
So if I'm starting from scratch and I've contracted you and I have a quarter acre, how much will it cost me to have everything to the point that the crop is planted?
Okay.
You come set everything up to the point that the crop is planted.
Okay. For a quarter an acre, you require probably, it can fit only 2 blocks, 2 greenhouses. One greenhouse is 250, depending with which company you want them to work for you. I know a guy who does at 250, and I think that's the normal range, 250,000 shillings per piece.
Okay, let's just take a short commercial break. When we come back, we will start from that point.
All right.
For our viewers back at home, for those who've just joined us in the middle of this conversation, today we are talking about herbs farming, specifically basil. That is one of the herbs. And with me in studio is Chris Pomwiti, who is also an agronomist, and has been telling us a lot about this. We are taking a short commercial break, but we will be back in a few.